Hi and welcome back all of you. So continuing with our discussion of recent questions, very important area, root canal and anatomy. Every year they ask one question on either Vertucci's classification of root canal system or Weine classification of root canal system. So we could understand this. So they give you some description, ask that what type of Weine's root canal system it is and what type of Vertucci's root canal system it is. Now see, when you by heart it, when you mug it up, anything, whether this or anything, when you mug it up, it stays there. But when you go and sit for the exam, especially when you're sitting for an exam where questions are coming from 20 subjects, even if you know, okay, many a times I have felt this when I was writing, even if you know a topic, okay, confusion comes up. Okay, even if you think that, okay, this is the answer, but still you are not sure about it. That kind of area is this Weine and Vertucci classification. Even if you know, you forget it. You feel like you have some confusion out there. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to discuss it in a way, it stays there forever. No confusion at all. Okay, so we're going to start with the first type or first group of classification, which is Vertucci's classification system. So about Vertucci, the spelling is Vertucci classification of root canal system. Okay, now how to remember this? Now, okay, you have 8 different types of root canal system as per Vertucci. Okay, you can see here picture type 1 to type 8. Okay, but how to remember them? So you have to write, okay, type 1 is important. Okay, then I'm going to write type 2 or okay, type 2, type 3, okay. Then you have got type 4. I am writing it with another color just for you to know it, okay. So now type 4, then type 5, type 6, okay, type 7, okay, and finally you have got type 8, okay, type 8. So you have, okay, I should have used red ink itself, okay, okay. So from this, what did you understand? Type 1, type 4, remember, you have to remember type 1, type 4 and type 8. Why? So this is where you're going to write some numbers. 1, okay, 2 and 3. What does it mean? Type 1 is 1 canal system. Type 4 is 2 canal system. Okay, type 8 is 3 canal system. Okay, so as you could see here, okay, this is 1 canal system here like this. Okay, then type 4 is simply 2 canal system just from beginning to the end, and type 3 from beginning to the end, it is a 3 canal system. Now here the classification begins. Okay, this is where we are going to start the classification. So again, you're going to leave one area. So that is type 1, you are, you know, type 4, it is 2. So 1, 4, 8, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 4, 8 is 1, 2, 3 canal system. Now you come on to the type 3. Okay, I'm going to come on to the next one. So type 2, I'll tell you in the end. This is how you have to remember. Please try to write it if possible. Then it stays there. Okay. Now type 3. So what was type 1? 1, right? So type 3 is 1, 2, 1. How do I know that? This is 1. So this was also starts with 1, and it is 1 to 1. It's easy to remember, right? 1 to 1. What was type 4? 2. So I am leaving 1. Okay, and I'm going to take, so type 4 is 2, type 5 I'll keep it as such, type 6 starts with 2, it is going to be 2, 1, 2. Okay, if you don't understand this, I'll explain this in the end, what it doesn't mean. First you understand how do you number it. Okay, it's 2, 1, 2. So it is 1 starting with 1, then you leave 1, 1 to 1. Type 4 is starting with, type 4 is 2, so you have to leave 1, the next is starting with 2, and it is 2, 1, 2. So the other one was 1 to 1 because it was starting with 1. So 1 to 1. This is starting with 2. It is 2, 1, 2. Okay. So then type 8 is 3. Okay, and now you come on to the previous one, the one which you left, type 2 and type 5 are the ones you left. So what was this? This was 1 and 1 to 1, is it? 1 and 1 to 1. So if you have 1 here already to start with, so what is left? 2, 1. Isn't it? So hope you got it. What I'm saying, I'll just write it once again. That is, if you have 1 here already, and this was 1 to 1, so what is left? 1 is already there, so what is left? 2, 1. Okay, now similarly, you have the 2 canal system where you have 2, 1, 2, you have 2 already here, okay, you have 2 already here, so what is left in 2, 1, 2? 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2. And here it is type 7 is 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2. Easy. I'll just write it once again. I'll explain to you once again how it is. So as I told you, we start with, that is, this is 1 canal system. Okay, just to stay there. Okay, this is 2 canal system. 8 is 3 canal system. Okay, then you leave 1 number. So I'll use same color for that. Okay, that is, you leave 2, you put 1. Sorry, you leave 2 and you take 3, and it is starting with 1. Is it 1 canal system? So 1, 2, 1, isn't it? Then for type 4 type, which is 2, you leave 1, and the next one is starting with 2, 2, 1, 2. Okay, now you go to the type 2 type. Okay, you have 1 starting with 1, so that is 1 to 1. So 1 is already there. What is left? 2, 1. So that is 1 to 1. What is left in 1 to 1? 2, 1 is left. This one is starting with 2, and you have got 2, 1, 2. So 2 is already there. So what is left? 1, 2. And this is easily 1, 2, 1, 2. That is remaining. And this, you know, it is a 3 canal system. What does it mean? What does it mean? I'll explain it here. Okay. So that it stays there forever, and you will get, this year also you will get a question. Because either Vertucci or Weine I'll discuss very soon, either Vertucci or Weine you will get one question. 99.99% you will get a question. Most of the time people make this wrong. And when you make this wrong, you know, it's a big problem. So how does it start? It is like a 1 canal system, isn't it? This is type 4 is 2 canal system, as I've told you. Then you have got 3 canal system, isn't it? So that was this one. You have got, as I've told you, type 2 you will leave. Okay, type 2 you will leave. You take type 3. You will take type 3. And type 3 is 1 to 1. So it is like 1 chamber, one starting with 1 canal. So as of now, so I'll just zoom it up. Okay, so it is 1 chamber here. Okay, then you have got a canal already begin. So that is 1. Then you have got split into 2, and then again 1. So that is 1 to 1. Okay, then coming on to the type 4, which is, you know, 2 canals. So leaving 1 there, leaving the next one there, coming to the very next one. Okay, so it is 2 canal system, so it is 2, 1, 2. Okay, so that is starting with 2 canals already, then it becomes 1, then again 2, so that is 2, 1, 2. Okay, then finally that is, this is 3 canal system, and you have 3 canals. Okay, then coming back, what was left for us? So this is 1, okay, and this is 1 to 1. So what do you have? What is left? 2, 1. So 1, 1, 2, 1 to 1. So what is left is 2, 1. So it is 2 canal system, and then becoming 1. So similarly, the 2 canal system there, you have 2, 1, 2. What is left? In 2 is already there, 2, 1, 2. So what is left? 1, 2. Okay, so there is 1 canal becoming 2. Okay, that's it. And finally, you have got 1, 2, 1, 2. Sorry, 1, 2, 1, 2. So this was 1, 2, and this was 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so that is 1, 2, again becoming 1, then 2. So you can, if they give you any of this image, it is the same below. Okay, the same system below. Okay, they have just given it in a different color. Okay, and a little, you know, separation in the lower morphology part. But the thing you have to remember here is, you get this image, just think a little bit, okay, or don't jump, okay, because many times I've seen students, the mistake they make there is what? They forget this area. They'll say that, okay, this is 2, starting with 2, then 2. So this is one problem. Or many a times another problem, when it starts with 1 especially. Okay, when it starts with 1 especially, okay, this one. They think that this 2, 1, 2. No. So how to differentiate here? This is, I think many students will confuse here. See, this big space is there when it is 1, starting with 1. But if it is starting with 2, see this space is only there. Okay, there is no big huge area. Here you have got a big area, that means it's 1. It starts with 1. Okay, so don't make this is one confusion you can make and go wrong. But now see, if you get this question and all, your rank is going to jump. Okay, very high. So that was Vertucci system. Now let us come on to the next system, that is Weine system. Now in Weine system it is much more simpler. It is type 1 is there, very simple. Okay, type 1 is there, type 2 is there, type 3 is there, type 4 is there. Okay, type 4 is there. Easy to know that type 1 is a single canal. The first one and the last one is 1, single 1. Okay, so it starts with single 1. Okay, both of them are 1. And here this is 2 canals, starts with 2 canals. This also starts with 2 canals. Okay, so this is one thing you have to remember. Okay, and what you could see here is type 1 is 1 canal, see, 1 single canal going. Type 2 is again 1 single canal, but yes, there is a difference. Okay, the difference is that it just splits into 2. Okay, so both of them starts with 1 canal, but when the first one starts and continues as 1 canal, it is understandable that the next one is starting with 1 canal and splitting into 2. The center ones, okay, the center ones, both of them starts with 2 canals. Okay, both of them starts with 2 canals. So how do you remember this one? You know Namaste? Doesn't this looks like a Namaste, person doing Namaste kind of thing? That is, what is happening here is it starts with 2 canals, okay? It starts with 2 canals, okay? 2 and 3 starts with 2 canals. So it starts with 2 canals and ends up in 1 canal. Okay, ends up in 1 canal. Whereas this one starts and ends in 2 canals. Okay, so it's very, very easy. How, once again, I'll explain to you what is happening here is first and last is 1 canal system. Okay, second and third is 2 canal system. What really makes the difference is the end part, the background, the back end part. That is, the first one continues as 1 only. The second one continues as 2. Okay, and here, remember 2, it is Namaste. Okay, and this one is just a continuation. So it's very easy basically. So how you remember it is very, very, very easy. 1, 4, 8. So that is 1 to 1. Okay, then leave the next one, it is 1 to 1. For 2, leave the next one, it is 2, 1, 2. What is remaining in 1 to 1? Okay, that is 1, 1 to 1, so what is remaining? 2, 1. Then 2, 2, 1, 2, what is remaining? 2 is there, 1, 2. Then 1, 2, 1, 2, that. Okay, here it is single and single in the 2 ends. In between you have got 2. Second one is Namaste. Third one is end to end. First one is continuous, second one is splitting in the end. Okay. If you have written it down, it becomes super easy for you. And now you get any question on this, you can easily do it. So this is how, but especially for those students, who are starting their preparation, this is how you have to prepare for NEET and DS. Yes, conceptual understanding is very, very important. So there are 2 groups of questions, isn't it? 2 groups of questions. One is where you need the concepts very clear. Second is mugging up. So when you're studying 20 subjects, both of these areas must be made easy. So how do you make this area easy? Concept. Learn the concepts instead of mugging them up. If you start mugging this up, it will end nowhere. What about this area where you have to mug up? Tips and tricks are very, 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 very important. Okay, anything you have confusion, you have to have a tips and tricks to learn them when you're by hearting them. Okay, many people, what they do, they take this part, which is around 60 to 70% conceptual understanding, and they start mugging it up. When you do for one subject, it is fine, you feel wonderful, you have no issues. You say, wow, I studied periodontics wonderfully today. But once they do ortho, they do endo, they do some few more subjects, The first periodontics is vanished, nowhere, because you have never understood the concepts. What type of surgery is where? Gingivectomy where? Gingivoplasty where? Flap surgery is where? Mucogingival surgery is where? You don't know. So those where people get into trouble. Okay, so let us go on to the next. Also, okay, before that, let us discuss this question, isn't it? We have not discussed the question. Now, according to, so they're talking about Weine's classification. According to Weine's classification of root canal system, two canals, so they're talking about veins, okay. So where do you have two canals? 1 and 4 is one canal. So it can be either type 2 or type 3. So two canal system from the pulp chamber and ending in 2 orifice is 3, isn't it? Starting with 2, that is 2 canals, and ending in 2 canals. Type 2 was Namaste, starting in 2 canals and ending in 1 canal. Namaste. So that is not a problem. Okay, this is how you have to learn it. So similarly, they will give you Vertucci's classification also. They will tell you starting with like this, or they can give you this image also. Okay, they can give you image based questions also.